What's up, guys? This is the fourth and last game in my slow descent into Tecmo Koei madness. This one's slightly late, but it doesn't really fucking matter. This is Bladestorm Nightmare, and it's the most strategic sort of, yeah, sort of more. I'm not gonna say abstract, but it's not as I don't know how to describe it. It's more, about being part of a squad. You're not just going in by yourself. As a matter of fact, you're kind of pathetic by yourself. So the whole idea of having a squad with you is pretty important. But I'll explain that once we're in actual gameplay. I'll go into my actual character here. You get some nice little customization options. I just put some armor on him. I fucked with his cheekbones. You know when I fuck with his cheekbones because you make him look like a mutant. And after you've created them, you can edit them. But if you started a story mode with them, it's not going to update it. So yeah, make sure he looks like you want him before you go into story mode. Uh, but yeah, so here's my guy. Got some stuff on him, and here's my personal favorite part of the game is all these different squads. Right now I'm using a man at arms, which is just a one-handed sword. I'm not sure what he's doing with his other fucking hand, but whatever. This is the guy. He has armor, and he's using, as you see in the sort of lower right, it has a book icon, and then it says swords. Books are probably very integral to this game. If you go in here into the actual books, you'll see all these different types of books, and they control, or they dictate how well you do with different unit types. Like here, sword is uh, my best. I have all these maxed out, and I have all these maxed out. But as you see, it still only says 64% growth. So there's more stuff to discover, like this. That unit, I haven't come across that one or these two or three or whatever. But yeah, there's a bunch of units or unit types, not exact units, because these guys are just, normal swords. These guys are again just normal swords. But these guys are under the sword book, so I still have all the advantages, even though I never use them. But they're using a two-handed sword, sorry. And these guys are under the horses book, but they're using like maces or not maces, lances and spears and stuff. These are knives. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of really cool unit types. These berserkers are supposed to be kind of barbarians or something. And they have different types. Just bowmen, crossbowmen, dual sword, which you'll have to equip two swords. You'll have to buy them from the store, and you buy better swords later on. You get all these elite bowmen. I'm not gonna elite rapier. See, I think it's a French word, because épée is a French word, and that's a type of rapier, something like that. That's not much. Executioners, heavy club, very crusader looking dudes. I mean, yeah, this game is based on the Hundred Years' War, which I think actually lasted like 107 years or something like that, 112 years maybe. But yeah, between England and France, and nobody's the good guy, nobody's the bad guy. You actually get to choose who you want. You get the Landsknecht. Landsknecht. I know German. I should be able to do this. I think these guys are Swiss. I don't know exactly, but it's kind of beautiful in the way that a load of these unit types are completely anachronistic. So like they just don't fit in the time period. Like these Mongol crossbowmen and horsemen, and the Mamluks who are in the Crusades, fighting the Crusaders. Like they, yeah, just wrong time period, wrong area. But it's pretty cool that you get them because you get, I think, ninjas. Yeah, you get ninjas here, and they're under the sword book, which is kind of odd. Oh no, yeah, no, there's another type of, yeah, the rogue ninja who uses knives, which is kind of what I expected. Just normal rapier. Yeah, Romans. These royal lancers are pretty cool. But yeah, you just unlock these through playing the game. You start with a couple and you get more, and this I don't think is nearly all of them. These guys are samurai bowmen. But yeah, that's a really cool part of the game. And most of them have the same attacks and stuff. So it's just kind of a matter of choosing which one you like best. But here, yeah, we're taking up contracts, and you can see I'm not even, not fighting throughout all of France yet. Just small areas of France, and you can choose which side. It doesn't really affect the story too much. I think there are some larger scale battles which will affect the story. Uh, you'll have to choose: are you going to go with the English or the French on this particular battle, because there'll be like a cutscene or something. And sometimes you have to go with one side, and sometimes with the other, and you'll meet historical figures. Uh, the Black Prince, Joan of Arc, I think somewhere down the line. But yeah, you know, sometimes you're forced into it, sometimes you get to choose. I don't know if it changes the story that much. I don't think so. And here we go. This is the map. This is one of the maps. And granted, there aren't. You saw how many maps were on the previous one. I think it's like, I'm gonna guess like 11, 12, 10, something like that. But they're all pretty big. You'll actually see how it's hard to like. This is You'll see how long it takes me to get from that plus to from where the plus is now to where the green arrow is pointing, and consider it's that much of the entire map. And this is one of 10 maps. But yeah, these maps are pretty big, and I like them. They're completely open. You can. It's far easier to choose what sort of attack you're gonna do, and of course I can just like switch between this unit and the spearmen. But I'm terrible with spearmen, which is. Oh no, I have a lot of spearmen, which is kind of weird. I wouldn't expect that. I'll go back to my man at arms because I have a lot more of them, and you just get more men to follow you just by upgrading it. You saw that, I think it was like leadership or research, one of the two. You'll see these guys coming up to me have like red sort of. Yeah, my guys are not very good against horses, but I still wipe them out just because I'm over leveled for this. But that red sort of means that I'm at a disadvantage. It's doing this sort of Tom Clancy's End War, rock paper scissors type thing, where your units. I think it's actually, yeah. There we go. You'll see strong against knives, rapiers, and magic, but weak against spears, horses, halberds, elephants, engineers, and camels. The engineers are notoriously difficult to get in this game, and because they're using guns. So I don't know if I'm gonna come across any of them. I haven't as of yet. But there we go. This is what you're doing. You're taking over these bases. You have to get all these defense points, which are the units that have like shields over their icons. And when you get all of them, the base commander appears, and you take him out, and you take the base. And it's really that simple, but it's a lot of fun. It's a bit of mindless fun because most of the time you're just running from one place to the other. Sometimes you have to switch units how you want to, and I wouldn't recommend doing it the way that I did it, because my strengths are swords and rapiers on this character anyway. And right now it doesn't matter because I can take out the Black Prince here pretty easy because my guys are so overleveled. But when it comes to later on in the game, where people are going to be a match for me, if I'm at a disadvantage, it's really not going to matter that I'm overleveled. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. Oh, he's running away. Oh no, he's coming back. You want to defeat the officers because you oftentimes you can pick up whatever books they're using. But I think I already have Edward the Black Prince. I think is using like Royal Lancers. I think I already have that book, so it's probably that item there will probably just be some sort of artifact that I can sell at the merchant. Which, whatever. Another pretty interesting thing you can do is you can switch over to the other character. It's my other character. She's using a mace, and she's pretty highly leveled on these maces also. So it's pretty interesting. You can have up to 4 characters later on in the game, and you can just switch between them. And you can also combine the armies if they're in close proximity. You combine them into like one big army, and then you can do a mass attack or whatever. So you get some tactical options. I don't think there's any sort of difficulty settings. I didn't see any. If there is, this is just on the default setting because I didn't change anything. and it's not too difficult. But you know, there are some sort of sometimes you get requests, and they can be kind of awkward because it's like recapture the village, but the village is like on the other side of the map, and again, these maps are pretty big, and it just yeah, it's not worth it. And yeah, that's this request done. I will say that it looks pretty good for a remastering of a 2007, 2008, 2009 even. A pretty old game. It's a pretty pretty old PS3, Xbox 360 game, and they remastered it and they added the nightmare scenario, which is monsters. You know, so you get like mythical beasts and stuff, and you actually get them as units also, which would be pretty fun to see. Oh, there's two more things I gotta capture. I thought it was just these two. But out of the four Tecmo Koei games that I've had a look at, this is probably the one that I've had the most fun with. I probably enjoy Noda Obunaga's Ambition. It was just Obunaga's Ambition, I think. Uh, if I could understand it, but you know, I'm making some really slow progress in that game. Just kind of trying to figure out, okay, so what does this button do and what does this one do? Whereas with this, yeah, it's very straightforward. Even if this was all in Japanese, I'm sure I could still figure it out. But it's a lot of, you know, commanding your troops, and you don't actually do a lot of the fighting. Like I can still control my character to run around in a circle here, but I'm holding R1 to make them go into attack mode, and my character kind of goes into attack mode too. So if there's enemies in proximity, he'll just swing a sword. But it's not as definite. The control that you get is nowhere near as definite as Dynasty Warriors or something like that. And yeah, you can see in the bottom right that I have my sort of what is it special attacks, I guess. And the 2 stars just means that I've upgraded them. But again, yeah, those are kind of definite because once I press the tackle button, they'll get into a tackle. So yeah, there's that, I guess. But the combat itself is very simple, very straightforward. Just running through motherfuckers, and that's all that you really want from a game. This was supposed to be a spiritual successor, I guess, to Kessen. It's different to Kessen. Uh, Similar but different. I expect it to be slightly more like Kessen, but I am by no means disappointed. So, if we just capture this area, there we go. That's that contract done, and we just go on, do more contracts, go to new areas, get some story missions in, get some new equipment. Very simple, very open-ended, something you can sit down, turn the sound off, listen to some music, podcasts, whatever. I got a sword there, which is kind of unusual. Usually you don't get those. But yeah, okay, a B, whatever, fuck you. I think that's about all there is to it. I haven't shown any of the nightmare stuff, but that's only because I want to kind of get through this original campaign before I get onto the nightmare stuff, but I'm sure that'll be pretty interesting. I'm thinking, is it worth the full price though? If you really like Kessen, then yes. If not, if you're more of a Dynasty Warriors person, maybe wait for the price to drop a little. It's not going to drop too much because this game wasn't made in huge quantities, so I wouldn't expect crazy price drops. But yeah, that's about all for this game, and I'll see you guys next time.